All right. Hello, everyone, and I hope you're doing well. And a very warm welcome to the Global Product Festival 2026, brought to you by the Product Leaders Forum in partnership with the Institute of Product Leadership. Whether you're joining us from India, the United States, the Middle East, or anywhere else in the world, we are delighted to have you with us today. My name is Monisha, and I'll be your host for this exciting evening. So the Global Product Leadership Festival 2026 brings together practitioners, product leaders, designers, and innovators to discuss what is actually working across three focused weeks on AI product design, AI product management, and AI product leadership through masterclasses, fireside chat, and interactive Ask Me Anything sessions. This week, our focus is on AI product management, and we have another exciting lineup of conversation designed to bring you practical perspectives from leaders building and managing the products in the real world. So before we begin, I would like to take a minute to introduce what is PLF. So Product Leaders Forum, or PLF, is a non-profit community that was founded in 2014 with a simple vision to bring together product leaders who believe in learning, sharing knowledge, and helping one another grow. Over the years, PLF has hosted 40 plus conferences, 100 plus community events, and built a thriving network of 6,000 plus product leaders, positively impacting more than 10,000 professionals. So we have had the privilege of welcoming speakers from organizations such as Google, Microsoft, Oracle, Philips, and many other leading companies across the globe. Today, we are proud to continue this journey in partnership with the Institute of Product Leadership through the Global Product Leadership Festival. So for today's agenda, it's the day two of the week two, and the theme of week two is AI product management. And today we have two sessions. The first is a masterclass on from customer problem to product to production AI product management. And the second session is an Ask Me Anything session on the future of AI product management. So before we begin, audience, this isn't just a webinar or a masterclass, it's also a conversation. So if you have any kind of questions or any clarifications that you would like to know or understand better, you can feel free to post it in the Q&A throughout the session, and we'll take them up during the Q&A slot after the masterclass is over. And in the AMA, you'll be able to ask your questions directly with Mr. Ajay Bansal. So let's begin with the first session for today. It's a masterclass which will be taken by Mr. Kunal Parekh, who is currently the principal product manager at Microsoft. Sir, it's a pleasure to welcome you as our first speaker for today's session.
Thanks, Monisha, and really interested and excited to be part of this festival. Thank you for sharing this opportunity with me. And I'm looking forward to having a very exciting and interesting conversation around the topic and maybe anything other than the other topic also. I'm happy to share it with you folks. So very excited and I'm looking forward to have a very nice conversation around it. Yeah. I like meeting all the
Yeah.
builders of the globe and whatever you guys are building, I think that is a kind of a moment of opportunity that we all have to learn in this particular day and age, right? Yeah.
Oh, and thank you so much, Kunal. It's a honor to have you with us today. Before we begin, I would like to give a quick introduction about Kunal. He brings over 14 years of experience in the technology industry with expertise spanning data platforms, analytics, AI, and machine learning, product strategy, and digital transformation. So at Microsoft, he works on foundational analytics infrastructure and meta-driven platforms that enable reliable, scalable, and AI-ready experiences. His work has included leading the launch of intelligent pooling and instant Spark sessions, helping improve developer productivity through proactive resources, provisioning, and meta data driven discovery. So before Microsoft, Kunal also spent several years at Shell, where he worked across data products, cloud scale data, platform transformation, product management, and business analysis. He also played a key role in building a data team and driving solutions that delivered measurable business impact. His journey spans multiple roles. His journey spans across multiple roles and industries, from business analysis and consulting to product management, and now building cloud infrastructure used by millions of data professionals. So today's session Kunal will take us through from customer problem to production AI product management, sharing practical perspectives on how product teams can move from identifying a real customer problem to building and taking an AI powered product into production. So, Kunal, it's pleasure to have you with us today, and I would now hand over the session to you. But before that, dear audience, if you have any kind of questions or any queries that you would like to ask Kunal, you can please drop in or raise your hand. And the last 10 minutes will be for the Q&A slot where you can directly ask your questions. Over to you, Kunal.
Yeah, thanks. Monisha, would it be possible if I can share the link of the presentation over here itself? So, in interest of time, if anyone would like to infer the presentation, they can also have a look. And I will also give a demo on like how I'm working on Lovable and other applications. So, do you mind like if I can share the link of the Gamma presentation over here itself? It's a website. Um,
Absolutely, sure. If it's the same link, I will share it in the chat section so everybody
yeah,
can
yeah,
access.
perfect, perfect. Yeah, please proceed.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, hello everyone. I'm Kunal. As I think Monisha has already given a brief introduction, so I won't be spending time on the introduction. And I don't want you to consider this session as a kind of another lecture on the product management. But what I really wanted to give you is a kind of a case study of one of the product or one of the problem I would say, which I was facing in last few months or by the time like I became PM. So, quick context. I work basically in the kind of a big data workspace. So let's consider industry agnostic aspect of it. But what typical day in life of a PM? So basically, PM starts their day at 8 a.m. in the morning, identifying like 50 new updates. I'm not talking about like the mails and messages that you guys receive, but also like the updates about the product, competition in the product. And by the time you have gone through it, it's already like 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes where like your competition in this particular case are doing something which you are not doing. You are finding the parity where or maybe creating a kind of a competitive analysis, which may be a kind of an interest area for you. And also, as a PM, you are responsible to keep your product at par, right? So, there are two fundamentals that I wanted to bring out in the conversation. It's point of parity and points of differentiation, right? So, what I'm basically doing in this particular case is creating a kind of a point of parity. Right. So I will leave this particular part. You can go through this particular live product case study, which is the basically the product which I have built, but I will come to that particular part little later. So, what if a PM go through an idea to a working product in days or months, right? Traditional path, what was a traditional path? Like we went through a problem, then PRD and design and engineering and sprint. You have gone through this particular thing multiple times. In the AI native path, what is changed? What has changed? We are moving from like problem, then we understand the problem, then we identify what is the hypothesis, then we create a couple of use cases, we create a prototype, we test it, build it, and move it to production. Right. So prototyping and test from right two-way loop, and not a one-stop shop. And also learning happens continuously. And that's what I really wanted to share in my this particular product which I have built. So if you see, the product which I have prepared is basically a kind of a competitive analysis for the big data world. Lot of things are changing. Like if you're in AI world, like every moment are changing. Let me take a quote from what I was listening to Lenny's newsletter a few days back. And one of the CPO of OpenAI, I think Kevin Whale, has mentioned that the model that we are working today is going to be deprecated in next few days, right? And that is the relevance, right? And that's what I'm going to bring up here, the kind of relevance that you need, and for that you need to be at par with the product that you are building, right? So let's say you are a PM responsible for fast moving technology platform or technology product. Every morning you will see dozens of announcements, technology update, customer signals, industry development. How do you manage all this thing, right? um, Obviously you all also have your you all already have some deliverables to finish your features and ship it and test it and get the customer evidence and everything, right? What I'm trying to solve is the product manager's problem, right? because I'm considering myself as a kind of a user who is like overwhelmed with so much data that I get. And apart from that, we also get a lot of clutter with respect to release announcements and everything, which we don't need to go through every time, right? So what I really wanted to bring up in this particular case is like, let's start with maybe asking the room, how many of you actually need to go through, maybe a show of hands, maybe say yes, how many of you spend at least half an hour or 1 hour of time on analyzing, checking, viewing what my competitors are doing, or what my competing products are doing, or how can my product will become obsolete maybe in next few years, and what I need to make the decision right now, which would become relevant in the future. So, how many of you go through this particular kind of reading signals and everything on a daily basis, or how much time you spend? Maybe it may be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, anything. Any yeah, nice. You have a weekly email that provides a summary of, okay, Claude, sending me an email about any update. Yeah, nice. Not daily, but weekly and hour. I mean, again, it depends on industry to industry. Yeah, that's good. Weekly is good to keep yourself updated up to about it. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to bring up, right? um, um, Weekly digest on competition and market trends, right? Many a times what used to happen, like we subscribe to a couple of reports, we subscribe to a couple of newsletters, from there we get that curated trend. But we need to understand like what is the master prompt which has been built on top of it to provide you that information, and why you can't do that on your own, right? So this is what I was trying to solve it. So in my case, we get around like 50 plus signals, and if I look at my product, it's a kind of analytics product. It has the updates regarding performance, user experience, lot of Reddit updates, a lot of signals coming from the customer inquiries and everything, right? So how we can contextualize this problem? Now, what I would like to bring is how we can denoise that clutter into one decision, right? And that's where this particular funnel approach helps you, right? You have like 50 plus signal, you have 10 piece worth of reading, three things that matters, and you will take one action, right? So that is what I have tried building it in my application. Okay, I will come to that application maybe little, maybe in next few minutes. But that is the problem which I was trying to solve. So what I did is, um, I would like, when I built a first master prompt, right? I got all the announcements related to release announcements and updates and so many things. No, but I am specifically looking for the technical blogs. I'm specifically looking for the performance numbers which they have shared. I'm specifically looking for some new feature which they have launched, not the release announcement, because release announcement is a bit of a clutter for me. So I'm specifically looking for a technical blog which gives me an insight which I can utilize to discuss with my engineering team and also fellow architects and all, to understand where we stand and what my competition is doing, how it will impact my usage metrics and everything, right? So this is what, like, I start with that problem, and then need to prioritize what we can do about it, right? So obviously, like, if you can ask that room, like, if you have received 100 technology updates, what do you do? Like, you can build a system that tells me what matters, right? Many of you, I think Vipul or Madhu or someone has mentioned that you guys have some automated trail which where Claude sends you the update, correct? Now it's about like, when was the last time you updated it prompt? Are you updating that prompt regularly or not? This is the problem which I started solving since last maybe around like 4 to 5 months. Okay. I also had a bit of a update which I used to go through. I used to refer to multiple updates. Then I defined what is a job to be done scenario in this case. It's not like I only want that particular update, but what I can do about it, how I can act on top of it, whether this information is whether this update or news which I have received is just an FIA news, or I can need to act, or where does it fall under my competitive analysis radar, right? And how I can position this particular feature as an improvement idea, or maybe how I can out position this particular feature from competitor and make my feature better than what they have done, right? So I would like to keep them as a kind of a benchmark. That's where I define like JPTD scenario, right? Where we detect, understand, prioritize, compare, and recommend, right? And that is the journey I would like to follow. If you notice in last maybe 6 to 9 months, what has changed in the AI world? We have we are moving away from the co-pilot, assistant, um, buddy, genie kind of a feature, and we are moving into the operator, executor, work like an assistant to you, right? So basically, we are moving from someone who can send me the information to helps me recommend that this is why it is better, why this is better than the other feature. And that also basically where we have to train the prompt at how I think, how I write, how I query, what all things I should benchmark, and so on, so on, and so forth, right? So, and also, I was very clear what not to be done. I don't want to create a newsletter. I don't want to create a news feed. I don't want to create a chatbot. I was very clear that I wanted to build an intelligence tool which helps me complementing my competitive analysis work, which I do it on a daily or maybe a weekly basis. But I can feed that information, which I get it on a daily basis, let's say from Apache Spark or from Iceberg or maybe from Databricks, maybe from AWS, and so on and so forth, to take most important thing is action. Okay. Because ingestion, data ingestion, getting the feed, uh, synthesizing the data, reasoning the data, AI can do that. But what AI cannot do right now is to make the right action based on your intellect, your research, your study, based on the exposure that it has. And most importantly, context. What context that I'm going to bring up this feature and why I'm going to bring up that feature. Yeah. So on that note, this was my hypothesis, um, that if we automatically collect all the signals, classifies and score them, and also I have a scoring model built on big data where I have what is my immediate competitor. If my immediate competitor, let's say AWS or Databricks, I give them higher score. And if I provide maybe Google Cloud, maybe an important one, then I provide them a higher score. I'm just giving an example. I'm not sharing like how the scoring model has been done, but yeah, this is what I have prepared. Then competitive intelligence, like competitors move contextualize against your product's position. Executive intelligence and action radar. That is where the my role brings up into the picture. Okay. Now, what is the technology stack which I have developed? I have used Lovable and React, Supabase for database authentication functions and managed, and Firecrawl. Sorry for the color combination, where it can process the data and also it gets the automatic feed from the uh, market. Okay, so every day the information that fetches are the relevant information. Okay, it's not the old information that may have been published maybe a few days back. But if it has been relevant, which has been published last few days, then we will keep it as it is. Okay. Now, if you notice, what I didn't do, I didn't start building the infrastructure. I started validating the workflow, whether my flywheel, decision flywheel, getting information, synthesize it, and process it, score it, and recommend and take an action, whether it is working as expected or not. Now, this decision flywheel is very important because this is my proprietary, my IP. This is how I do it, right? And this is basically how the PMs do it. Basically, I also took a couple of. I also checked with my few fellow PMs as well that how they do it within Microsoft and outside of Microsoft. Few of my fellow PMs friends are working in different industry, different context altogether. That is basically how you can build your hypothesis and refine your decision flywheel or action flywheel, right? It's similar like what Amazon does, right? What is Amazon flow looks like? Search, select, add to cart, um, payment and deliver, right? But in my case, it is the flow which I have mentioned, right? Okay, so let me go to my lovable page here. Yeah, so this is what I have been doing so far. I mean, it's been started off maybe somewhere in August 2024 or something like that. Sorry, March 2026, long time back. I continuously provided a prompt. So my hypothesis on the way I structure this particular, the way I structure my application or product, I always write down my thoughts, and I have provided this is the action which this is where I really wanted to land. This is the goal and vision of the product. My goal and vision of the product is like to make me and my team more informed, aware, accurate about what's happening in the market. And this is what I really wanted to get out of it, right? Um, what basically, so once I set that particular trend, then I have to identify like what all things I don't want to do it, what all things I really wanted to do it, right? So accordingly, based on the prompt information and providing the details and everything, I built this particular uh, I built this particular application. Okay, I will not go into the mechanics of it, but again, when I write down my thought, I will ask GPT to create a master prompt for it. Then I review the prompt. I critically analyze the prompt, and also you can utilize other chatbots as well, like Claude, which can critically analyze from the leadership point of view. Now, who all are my audience in this particular case? My audience is my fellow PMs, my leadership, my engineering leadership, architects, and so on and so forth, right? So I have to critically analyze from all the three or four point of views, and also my few fellow PMs who are outside of this particular domain and outside of this infrastructure altogether. So through that, what I built is this kind of a application or product. And let me go through that product now. Okay. So you are on this particular landing page. Maybe you can share it. I can share the link over here. You can also sign in for your own reference. Um, so I sign in with my ID. We don't need to use any kind of a specific Microsoft account or anything like that. But yeah, this is basically how I use it. And once I have that particular information, then it basically allows me to check into that one. Maybe let me change my email. Just give me one moment. So yeah, sorry for the disturbance. Yeah. So once you get that email, then it will help you uploading it. Once- Give me one moment. Once again, can I think my screen sharing got stopped. Monisha, are you there? Like, can I share? I think it is asking for admin request again.
Yes, give me a minute, Kunal. I'm just checking.
Yeah. I'm sharing my desktop now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the moment you get that email, okay. Can you see my screen now, folks?
Yes, it's visible, but if you could increase the font,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
your.
sure, sure. I will increase the size of it here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So once you land in into this one, public URL, I think it's a public URL only, people, lovable app. I hope you can able to access it. Um, So once you land here, then it will show like what is the today's big data brief. It will show the executive intelligence. It will also show why you need to have this because the derived deterministically from today's ingested articles and tracked topic momentum. So what is prescriptive? There are like couple of articles that it has gone through. I am from Fabric Spark team, so I will basically benchmark that. Okay, what is relevant to me in this particular case, benchmark against Databricks, BigQuery, AWS, Snowflake. These are like competitions. Analyze the trend window, like latest daily ingestion cycles. So what is the most important ecosystem change? Modern data platforms are increasingly leveraging AI and real-time capabilities to solve the complex problem. Okay, that's a high level. But what is the opportunity? Streaming momentum is newly emerging, an opening for Fabric Spark to lead a narrative in building computers, consolidate. And what is a competitive risk? Databricks is coming up with Unity AI Gateway, which would become available. So, what would be my accessing to roadmap impact, which would investigate? So, who is the current innovation leader right now? Google Cloud, because since last few days or few weeks, they have been launching a lot of announcements related to performance and benchmark, and they have been releasing a lot of endorsements. With the recent Google Cloud Next event, which happened in the month of April or May, they launched a lot, like more than like 250 updates over there. So it brings up this particular innovation leader. What is my strategic outlook looks like, right? So these are like top insights, and what are the key insights, key highlights? Like maybe the new BigQuery DTS capability offer a zero code, low cost data ingestion, and so on and so forth, right? So I will not go into the detail. Then I also have a chatbot, right? Maybe I would ask like, okay, which vendor is innovating fast? Obviously, we know Google Query, Google BigQuery. But yeah, that is what like it basically has. But it also interesting to mention Google Cloud and Databricks both in this particular case and why they are both, right? So because of Databricks coming up with their Unity AI gateway system and all. So I will not go into this jargons and all, but I really wanted to show you the kind of a high level brief in this case. Now, what is the source of all this data? For that, if I wanted to go through in more detailed way, I go to the news section. Okay. Now this shows Google has basically transformed some noisy neighbor issue, and like how it is important for my team, right? It is 6 out of 10. Why? Because maybe you can review the technical implication and log a spike for the affected component, right? So I have provided this kind of a scorecard for my own reference, that how it is important for me and what I can do about it, right? So it basically talks about, and delta is basically the Apache's format model and all, but how it is impacting the consumer facing analytics, right? Once I go through it, so maybe I can open any of the article here just for the reference, and then I can move quickly into, yeah, so this is something which they have launched very recently on August 6th, which is coming up in my newsfeed. Now I can see the trend, like maybe for today or maybe for this week. What is the biggest shift today? What are the fastest growing technology? Okay, um, it's a BigQuery or Databricks or Fabric. Again, every day they may not be publishing the post and all, but this shows a kind of a daily vendor momentum. What are the emerging signals? Streaming and BigQuery, right? Because of the emergence of AI, on-device AI, and so on and so forth. Correct. So that shows like compared to yesterday, compared to today, compared to yesterday, and so on and so forth, right? Then the important part in this particular case is going to, let me go to the compare section first, and then I will come to the radar because radar is where we will take an action. So in the compare space, you have a competitive intelligence workspace where you can see that okay, Databricks has come up with something. Now, as I mentioned, like all the products will be compared against performance, cost, AI, ML innovations, and data governance, right? And these are like basically the vendors, right? So what I basically shows like what is my competitor's capability, what is my product's availability, what is the gap in this case, why this is matter, what is my recommended next action, what we can do as a point of differentiation, as I mentioned very beginning, that is the core hypothesis of this particular application that I have built, and how the competitive differentiation can matters, right? So what I can do, I can take an action on it. Now, how can I take an action on this particular part? So see, it also shows competitive high customer impact. Okay, again, Google BigQuery, high customer impact. So likewise, it shows like few things which maybe they have done, which basically shows the high customer impact. It also filters based on the product, right? So if shows maybe the Google BigQuery and so on and so forth, right? Now, as I mentioned, like fair benchmark against a competing data platform on capabilities they ship today. Now, again, all this information are not confidential. These are all our information available in the cloud, in the web. I'm not bringing any information that is available within Microsoft environment. So if I wanted to tomorrow, if I wanted to compare it with maybe let's say other product category, I can do that as well. Okay, I just need to refine my prompt. That's it, right? So similar way, you can also build it for your own industry. And radar, here is where I take an action, right? So um, is it my screen still visible to everyone, folks?
Yes, Kunal, it's
Okay,
visible.
okay, okay, perfect. So now I wanted to filter for my role. Before that, what I really wanted to show is powering the next AI frontier with Fabric and Azure Data Portfolio, or maybe let's say scaling and all, maybe agentic future ready and all, right? So if I click on take action, right, it will ask me I really want whether I want to investigate, update my positioning. Maybe this is a feature where I wanted to do a bit of a secondary market research, whether I just wanted to monitor or no action, low strategic relevance. Maybe I will go with customer research here, right? Then it will ask why you want to go for customer research. So I would like to validate the relevance of the feature and whether it makes sense for my product. Let's say, just keeping it, maybe I will keep maybe the stakeholders as sales or leadership. And next step, maybe I would like to pick a date. Maybe I would like to take an action on 20th and I will save my decision. Okay. So it records the decision in my frame of reference, right? So that shows like this is where I have already taken action. I would like to validate. So the moment you open it tomorrow, it will show that yeah, this particular thing will be valid, and here is where I need to take an action. Or maybe I can also bookmark it as well, right? And if I wanted to look at my decisions, you can also go to my decisions and you can check whether it is making sense for me or not, right? Now, why I haven't connected it with maybe other um, engines like converting this feature into a requirement document and all, because then it would basically dissolve the purpose of this competitive analytics platform. Then it will become kind of a PRD tool altogether, right? So here I have stopped myself because this is what I want. Out of 50 signals, we have come down to two or three, and from two or three, I have come down to one signal because that's where my priority is high, my confidence is this, it is maybe impacting to my user impact, it is impacting the price performance. That is basically the core aspect of it, and that's where I would like to take an action, right? Now, in other case, like I will go to the copilot. It's the same copilot that you saw in the dashboard page as well. And maybe if I wanted to ask some competitive question in this particular case, let's say how I can compare Spark, or maybe I would say how I can compare between Google BigQuery and Databricks in a tabular format, something like that, right? So it also fetches that information and provides a context based on the articles and everything that they have prepared so far, right? I mean, again, the output summary may be a bit of a little different from what I have asked for, but for architecture, serverless architecture, what Google's differentiation are, what Fabric's differentiation is, what Databricks differentiation is, that is where like the competitive decision and support mechanism will make sense. Maybe I can ask like whether it makes sense for me to implement this feature in any product category, referring to price performance, something like that. Okay. I mean, again, my point is not to get uh, to get maybe the right answer from it, but I would like to synthesize and try to understand that what is the strategic relevance of it. It makes sense to implement maybe this particular format and category over there, right? So that is what like I really wanted to showcase as a part of this uh, dashboard. Yeah. Now, I think I have a reusable skill or maybe a master prompt, which I can share it over here as well, in case if you guys are interested. So, happy to answer any question, folks, if you have so far. Any question, folks? Okay. So, what I really wanted like to maybe go ahead and maybe let me open my
Kunal,
PPT.
Brinda has a question. Can you spend 30
Sure.
seconds on tech stack again?
Oh, text tech. Yeah, sure. Let me go back to my presentation. So technology stack is very simple in this particular case. So I have used predominantly Lovable and React, and maybe this was the Lovable and React to build that application. Supabase, again a Lovable connectors only, where I have provided database authentication functions. And but the most important thing is I use Firecrawl, which we all use it while connecting to GPT or Claude or anything to get all the latest and greatest information available in the web right now. Correct. So that's what like I did with basically with the technology stack of this. It doesn't require any APIs and authentication and all. But yeah, it basically gives you the right set of format which you can utilize and maybe prepare your own application around it. I have one slide on on the master prompt part. Okay, so there are five components are very important in case if you wanted to do it for your own industry as well. Um, uh, the market you are tracking, it can be fintech, it can be charging infrastructure, it can be mobile. What is your perspective? Which basically company that you are uh, working on? What name four to six competitors, identify the multiple sources. You need to identify the sources. So when I say if you ask Claude or GPT or anything, right, it may hallucinate because it provides all the release information and all. But you need to tell it very clearly that I'm not looking for um, releases and all. I am looking for some technological blogs. And what are my signal types? What I really wanted to cover. I wanted to cover competitive, customer technology, commercial, regulatory, ecosystem. So build one phase at a time. And in this particular case, I had a multiple phases. So if you look at it right from job to be done to signal scoring to trends to competitive intelligence to executive intelligence to action radar, and also I validated with a lot of my friends in the past. So that is what like I did while preparing this preparing this particular prompt. And also, in case maybe I can share that. Uh, Maybe I can share that prompt also with you here if it is open. Yeah, maybe I can share it here in the markdown file, which you can utilize for your own reference. Okay, which may be helpful to you. Correct. So maybe I can master prompt. It's a industry agnostic. Okay, so it's a markdown file, but let me share the full file here. Maybe guys, it's up to you how you wanted to utilize it. So let me share it. Oh, somehow I'm not able to share it here. Maybe Monisha, I can share it with you. Oh, I'm not able to add any documents here. Wow. I can only
I mean,
connect
you
from
can
the
add
Google
it
Drive.
in the chat section, Kunal.
No, I can only add it from the Google Drive, it seems. Okay.
Okay, you
So
can share me the link and I will send the link here in the
yeah,
chat
yeah,
section.
sure, sure. Or maybe I can share the markdown file to you and then you can send it over here. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Okay. So why this is generalized? Because of your phone market example, your fintech example, what you really wanted to attach with it, and so on and so forth, right? Now, how AI has changed for the PM? Um, Again, we will not start with a model. We will start with a decision. What I really wanted to build with it. Um, Apart from that, what is my maturity model of the decision and actions? What would be my? I don't want to know about. See, we need to forget the how part of it, right? How are we going to build it and all, because this is all like maybe a kind of a trial and error kind of a products that we will going to bring to ease my life, ease my team's time they are spending, and provide a kind of a newsletter or maybe an information to your team in case if requires, right? So this is really a kind of a use case which we wanted to bring it, which basically shows like how we think and how we act. The most important aspect, what has changed for the PM in this case is we have to refine and define our tuning in terms of uh, approach, thinking, and make sure you write your natural thoughts in a way which could turn into a reusable skills, reusable prompts, or reusable products, right? So that is the main thing which I really wanted to bring out from this conversation. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's it from my side. In interest of time, I think there are few more things are there, but yeah, I think that is pretty much which I have covered. Um, Also, share me any feedback. I think my LinkedIn chat and everything. I mean, LinkedIn connection and LinkedIn profile is already attached in the presentation. Help me know like how I can make it better. And yeah, that's it from my side.
So, yes, thank you so much, Kunal. So, couple of, some of the audience had questions for you. So, I saw Brinda raising her hand. Would you like to have your questions asked, Brinda? Brinda, are you there?
Yeah, I posted my question already in the chat as well. First of all, thank you, Kunal. This was amazing. I just wanted to know if your solution has been deployed at the enterprise level and if other managers are using it, and what's the
Yeah.
usage and adoption rate?
Yeah, so it is not productionized completely to the enterprise users, and it has to be enterprise agnostic. That was an idea. Okay, I don't want to sell it as a kind of any company product. This is something which I wanted to do it for my team. But um, the good thing is like it has been what I did with Microsoft Copilot is like in case if many of my friends and engineering leaders and um PMs basically who doesn't want to access the application, but they just need a quick summary of it. So with using Microsoft Copilot Cowork. I bring that particular summary and send it to them. A very short summary of like 5 to 10 lines, a quick digest. Someone talking about like not spending more than maybe half an hour on a daily basis, right? So just like leaders, like what is my quick summary, quick bite, right? So kind of a quick summary that I'm sending it on a daily basis. So I have been sending it to more than like 50 to 100 people already all together. So they are all my kind of a so-called first users of this product. And apart from that, it has to be industry agnostic. It has to be product agnostic. It has to be enterprise agnostic. Otherwise, like you will always have like favoring one specific product, right? And I don't want to have that because as a PM, I wanted to critically analyze my product, right? So it shows that okay, Google BigQuery, Databricks are better than Fabric, let's say, or other way around, right? Fabric and Databricks are better than Google BigQuery. That is what we really wanted to achieve by doing this exercise, right? We don't want it to massage our ego, but we wanted to be very factual about it. Does that answer your question, Brinda?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Yeah, all
Vandana,
right.
Vandana, I have
Yes.
already sent the link of Gamma. Maybe I can share it again if you want. But yeah, it's already there in the message thread. Monish has already sent it.
Yeah, also Vandana had a question, Mr. Kunal. So the question here
Sure.
goes like, does the app you created read your newsletters you subscribe to, or does it take source from the competitors directly? Do you choose the competitors beforehand?
No, I don't let it source it from the newsletters because newsletters, those who are publishing newsletter would be having some prompt, and I don't want to use that. I would like to create something for myself. And idea was not to create a newsletter, but idea was to create the get the data from the competitors' technical blogs. Like Uber has an excellent technical blogs. Databricks has excellent technical blogs. Same thing goes for Meta and all, right? So getting the data from those technical blogs, product blogs, sales blogs, and provide a story over here. In my case, I would more looking for a kind of a technical product kind of a roles blogs. But in case if there are like sales blogs and also deep architecture blogs are available, I would be happy to have that also. But as of now, like it doesn't serve my purpose right now. Yeah. So no, not from newsletters, only from the websites which I have prescribed. So I don't want model to hallucinate and provide me the wrong information. Yeah. And we have to be very careful. That's a very excellent question, Vandana.
Right. Thank you so much for answering that, Kunal. We also had Madhu or Jacob has this question in the chat. So, how do you train or recalibrate the prompt to avoid hallucination?
So I have grounded the data in the very beginning itself. Okay. So I have provided when I say like I wrote a master prompt before I gave it to GPT, I gave a complete user scenario that okay, I'm working in this particular product and I'm trying to create a competition, try to create a kind of a points of parity conversation um, with maybe let's say Databricks or let's say Google Cloud, and then I uh, gave maybe one or two use cases that this is what I really wanted to bring. This is the competitive analysis I wanted to bring. I would like to show that why this is important. I don't want model to tell me that this is 50% showing high customer impact. I want that because I have ingested my approach, my philosophy into that. But I was also open for them to also give me that okay whether this makes sense or not, right? So I validated multiple times with the different models. So when I gave that particular use cases, I asked GPT to analyze it and critically analyze it, and also same time Claude. So I mixed the information from both of them, and then I create another master prompt to process the data. Once you have that data, once you have that prompt synthesized, refined, then I think it makes sense for you to productionize it in Lovable. Does that answer your question? Sorry, a little bit elaborative, but I hope it makes sense. because I don't want a model to get hallucinated without and that is a normal problem. So you need to implement evals in a way which has like your core data. That's a golden data set, right? These are the competitive study which I have prepared, and that is for my reference. And these are really what I really wanted to get it from there. Yeah.
All right. With the interest of time, I will have to end the session. But then we have Jay Sagar here who has raised his hand. And if you allow, we would like to take last question, Mr. Kunal.
Sure, sure.
Jay Sagar, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Kunal.
Hey, hi.
I had a question with regards to the quality. How do you handle the quality and efficiency of the models, whatever you're getting? Any best practices that you feel that one has to follow so that we can go ahead and practice them?
Um, Quality and I mean, see, I initially when built this particular product, it was only dashboard and the news section. Okay, it was the only. These were the only two things were there: dashboard and news. Okay, nothing else. So I went through a couple of articles and I provided that why this article doesn't make sense for me, right? So
Mm,
we need to do a bit of. We cannot let Claude or GPT or Lovable to decide what I really wanted to read. We need to
correct.
tell them what I want to read, right? So
Yes.
that's what they call it in AI eval phase called golden data set, right? So that's the first stage, right? Where we have few references which we provide, and then it goes to provide maybe system level evals, right? So system decide based on how you think, how you write, how you prepare, how you create a competition, scorecard and everything. According to that, system designs for you. And once system designs for you, then you can create an LLM as a judge. I haven't reached to that stage. Let me be very honest here, Sagar. I have reached to a stage where right now the models, basically GPT and Claude, are basically telling me that this is what your scoring model looks like. Does this make sense or not? Right. So that is what like I have trained them, right? And that basically answers your question on quality and efficiency. That's why you see there will be less clutter. There would be a little bit of clutter. I'm not saying 100% it would be accurate. But if you go to the news section, you won't find maybe a release announcement and all. You will
Correct.
see specific technical blogs over here. Please access it. I mean, give your credential. It's completely
Got it.
anonymized. I'm not going to see like who doing what and all. So
Yes,
it's
yes,
completely
understood.
anonymized. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No worries. No worries. Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Then we have come to the end of today's session with Mr. Kunal. So Kunal, thank you so much for such an
Yeah.
insightful and engaging session. A lot of our audience had a lot of queries, but due to the interest of time, we'd have to cut it short. But I will be sharing your LinkedIn link with them in case they're not able to find it with in the PPT, so they can connect with you directly and take this conversation forward. And
Absolutely.
yes, on behalf of IPL, I sincerely thank you and truly appreciate you taking your time to share your experience, perspectives, and learnings with our community. It was a great opportunity for our audience also to hear from your experience in building and managing AI products. So,
Yeah.
as a token of gratitude and appreciation, we have the certificate of appreciation in recognition of your valuable contribution to the Global Product Leadership Festival 2026. So thank you so much once again, Kunal, and we look forward to more other sessions with you in the coming future. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Monisha, for this opportunity. And it was very nice interactive session with everyone. Thank you, folks. Somehow by master prompt, I'm not able to copy it here. So I will send it to Monisha and I will let her send it to you folks. Yeah.
Absolutely. We will send it along with other details.
All right. All right. Thank you. I just now send it to you. Okay. Thank you.
Sure, I will add it in the chat section here. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Dear
Thank you.
audience, yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Bye. Bye.
Have a great evening ahead. So, audience, up next we have an Ask Me Anything session with Mr. Ajay Bansal. So, the topic for the Ask Me Anything session is on the future of AI product management. We will take a quick 2 minute break. You can grab your cup of coffee and come back, and then we'll start with the session. I do not want to keep our panel speakers also waiting. So I would request all of you to please join us back at 8:01 p.m. dot. We'll be starting with the session.
And those of you who are staying back, if you don't want to do that, you can just start posting your questions. I'll start framing them so that we could start asking Ajay quickly.